Hello, everyone. My name is Nofar. I'm a linguistics MA student at Tel Aviv University, and I participate in a research group with Einat Gonen, the head of the Department of Hebrew Language, Goren, the head of the Curiosity Lab from the Department of Industrial Engineering, and Melamed Gorodesky from the Department of Hebrew Language. Together, we research ways to promote the morphological awareness of young children using different technological tools such as robots and avatars. Today, I'll be presenting our research in which we taught young children an important subject of Hebrew morphology using interactive videos. Our previous research included social robots, which due to COVID-19 were converted to cartoon avatars. The research was funded by a grant from the Goldstein Goeren Center for Mind, Cognition, and Language. Let me tell you a little bit about Hebrew, as I assume most of you don't speak it. Hebrew words are composed of 3 or 4 consonants referred to as a root, and this root carries the basic meaning of the word. So the root of the verb rakati, which is Hebrew for I dance, is rekede or rakad, and the root of the noun shemenet, which is Hebrew for cream, is shemene or shaman. Roots are combined in different vocalic patterns, sometimes with affixes as well. So in the case of rakati, the root rekede is combined in the vocalic pattern a along with the suffix t, which indicates the first person singular inflection. I will not go into detail about Hebrew morphology, but you can probably already see that extracting the root out of Hebrew words is not an easy task. Some words have more than 3 consonants, and it's not so easy to tell which consonants belong to the root and which belong to the various templates and affixes, especially because there are forms in which consonants that actually belong to the root don't appear at all. This makes root extraction difficult even for native speakers. However, as you might have understood, roots form an integral part of Hebrew morphology, and root extraction skills are essential for high school matriculation exams, where students are required to extract the roots of complex verbs and nouns. Even though root extraction is taught in schools from 2nd grade on, you might be surprised to hear that high school students demonstrate low achievements in this section, and this is exactly where our program comes in handy. In schools, root extraction is taught through reading and writing. Teachers use books that teach root extraction based on orthography, because this is a traditional way used in the education system. Children are taught to erase the letters that don't belong to the root instead of understanding the logic behind it. If we compare this to mathematics, it's a bit like having to use your fingers whenever you want to count something, except that counting with your fingers always works while erasing letters doesn't. Our program is innovative because it is based on oral instruction only and does not require any literacy skills. The children extract roots directly without having to rely on the orthography and, most importantly, in a more intuitive way. The teaching method was developed by Dr. Einat, who was responsible for the linguistic and pedagogic parts, and Professor Goren, who was responsible for the technological part. Our program teaches children as young as 5 years old to extract the root of Hebrew words in only 5 short video lessons available on YouTube. We prepared the videos using recorded audio text and avatars from sitebell.com, which is a dedicated commercial website that enables integration of audio files and animated avatars. The duration of each video was between 6 to 10 minutes, and the overall duration of all lessons was approximately 40 minutes. In the videos, the children were introduced to 2 avatars, Fuzzy the dog and Tutti the cat. Let's watch a few seconds of one of the videos.
מה השורש של התחתנו? חתן. ומה השורש של מתחפשים? חפש. כל הכבוד. מה השורש של התחמם? חמם. ומה השורש של התפרקו? פרק. מצוין.
As you could see, the avatar posed the question, what is the root of the word X? And after a pause of a few seconds, during which the children could reply, it provided the correct answer along with a complement. The questions and answers are given in a rhythm that resembles recitation, which makes it very catchy. And the avatars encourage children to actively participate as they decipher the roots alongside the avatars. A bit like Dora the Explorer, which I assume most of you know, especially the parents among us. So as I mentioned earlier, the whole program is based on oral instruction only, without any complex theoretical explanations, and it does not require any literacy skills, so it is suitable even for preschoolers. For the children, it is like a fun game that they play with the avatars, so they don't even feel like they are studying, and they look forward to the next video, at least according to the reviews. But regardless of how entertaining our program was, we also wanted to make sure it actually worked. We conducted an experiment in order to examine the efficiency of our program, and the next slides will explain how we did that. The experiment was conducted completely online and has been accessed both from computers and mobile devices. This enabled us to reach many children of varied backgrounds from all over the country. We ended up with 64 participants that completed all lessons, the pre-test and the post-test. In the pre-test, we assessed the children's prior knowledge. The children had a one-on-one Zoom meeting with an interviewer, and after a short demo, they were asked to extract the roots of 13 words. The correct answers were not provided after the pre-test. After the pre-test, the children participated in 5 different lessons. Each lesson was a root instruction video accessible via YouTube. They watched these lessons on their own or with their parents without a schedule. After having completed all 5 lessons, the children were invited to another Zoom meeting where they took the post-test. There, they were requested to extract the roots of 34 words. The post-test contained all pre-test items and 21 additional items. And it is important to note that the experimental items did not appear in any of the lessons, so the children were not exposed to them prior to the test. The parents were very engaged in the process since they had to play the videos for the children and fill in a feedback form after each lesson and at the end of the program. They reported playing the root extraction game with their children even between the lessons, and sometimes even by the children's own initiative. So this is the moment you all have been waiting for, the results. Here you can see the results by class. The left bar of each group indicates its achievements in the pre-test, and the right bar relates to the post-test. In the pre-test, second graders performed significantly better than preschoolers at root extraction, since they had already been formally introduced to roots in school. However, the methods used in schools have limited capabilities, and as a result, the second graders' scores were not high enough to indicate proficiency levels of root extraction skills. Their average score was 0.23. So this difference was the only one that was significant. In the post-test, the preschoolers completely closed the gap, and all children significantly improved their root extraction skills. So in the post-test, no significant difference between the different classes was found. Here you can see the average score of all participants, which, as mentioned, increased drastically between the pre-test and the post-test from 0.1 to 0.73. This difference was statistically significant, of course. It is also worth pointing out that not only did children succeed in extracting roots of common verbs, but they also successfully dealt with complex verbal forms, as well as nouns and pseudowords. What are pseudowords? I'm glad you asked. Pseudowords are made-up words that have no meaning, but obey the rules of the language. Words that look like Hebrew words, but actually aren't. Surprisingly, children managed to extract the roots of pseudowords even without ever hearing them before, nor understanding their non-existent meaning. That is to say that children dealt with pseudowords just as well as they did with real words. This points at an improvement in their linguistic competence and a more developed morphological awareness, since pseudowords examine morphological abilities while neutralizing intervening factors such as semantic meaning and word frequency. And now I know you want to ask, what is all this actually good for? So first of all, as I mentioned earlier, root extraction skills are essential for high school matriculation exams, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. Research found that explicit morphological instruction, and particularly root-based instruction, improves children's morphological awareness as well as their literacy skills. Moreover, children rely on roots when they interpret unfamiliar words or coin new words. In elementary school, the subject is taught in an extremely superficial manner, and our program covers root extraction with more breadth. The program teaches children a complex subject of Hebrew morphology in an entertaining way through games and jokes, instead of doing it the old-fashioned way, which is normally far from entertaining. And finally, the mobile aspect allows everybody to access high-quality educational content while teacher training is not needed. The next step that we are currently working on is conducting the same experiment in Arabic. Roots characterize all Semitic languages, including Hebrew and Arabic. We are keen to examine our method on Arabic-speaking children as well, with the purpose of implementing our program in schools. Although our program is currently extracurricular, due to its ease of implementation and speed of completion, it can be easily integrated in schools in Israel, both in the curriculum of Hebrew and Arabic as first and second languages. We also believe that with some modifications, our program can be used abroad for instruction of Hebrew and Arabic as foreign languages. The mobile aspect makes it possible to get almost anywhere, and we are eager to explore new methods and technologies to improve upon our methods and adjust it to different needs and audiences. Thank you for listening.